Okay, so next up, something that you can do at home that'll help with your serving. Tossing and or lifting. I prefer to use the word lifting the ball because a toss emphasizes something that's high and a lift emphasizes something that's lower and more controlled. So we want to lift the ball. Now, when you're at home, again, ask for your parents' permission before you put tape on the wall. But Gabby, let's demonstrate how we measure to start with. How did we measure? We put the tip of Gabby's fingertips up on the wall, and we want to put a piece of tape at the height of her fingertips. Then Gabby's going to step off the wall approximately maybe 2 feet, maybe 2 to 3 feet max, and she's going to hold the ball about 2 to 3 inches from the wall, as you can see, and she is going to lift the ball and let it bounce. The key is to lift the ball to the top of the tape 10 times in a row. Count out loud for me, Gabby.
3.
Good. And her elbow's going to stay high.
4.
Good.
Ball. 5.
Step with that right foot.
Ball. 6.
Right foot.
Ball.
Good.
7.
Good.
Ball. 8.
Good.
Ball. 9. Ball.
Good. And I'm going to show you what is improper. Now, I'm right-handed, so it'll probably be a little bit easier to see from this angle, but I want you to watch an improper lift. 1, you'll notice that the ball is falling away from my center. That's an improper lift. This is an improper lift. This is an improper lift. We want that ball to skim the wall and fall straight back down. Skim the wall and fall straight back down. Now everybody's reach is higher. As you can see, my reach is higher than Gabby's. So my tape should be a little bit higher. Your toss should never be higher than the tips of your fingertips. Otherwise, it takes too much to try to get underneath that ball and control it over the net. Okay, so Gabby, give me 5 more lifts. Keep that elbow high, good. Step on that right foot, please.
Ball.
Good.
2. Ball. 3.
Right foot.
Ball. 4. Ball.
Good.
5.
Good. Okay, and the next ones that she's going to go into is called trapping. Trapping the ball on her serve. Now, this is going to be really good for my younger kids who struggle with the power that it takes to trap a ball on the wall. Gabby's going to toss that ball, lift that ball, and she is going to extend that arm back behind her elbow and trap it to the wall with force and power with a wide, strong hand. Let's watch Gabby do 5, and then we'll go ahead and reset.
Ball. 1.
Good, really get that elbow back.
Ball. 2.
Draw that elbow back before you swing.
Ball.
Good, 1 more, or 2 more.
4.
Good.
Ball. 5.
Good, okay, and you'll notice that Gabby is trapping the ball at the point at which her body is nice and balanced. She's not leaning to the left to trap. The ball's not skipping out of her hand. It's not going the other direction. She is watching from the lift to the trap. She is watching from the lift to the trap. I want her to emphasize that elbow back behind that ball. That's what's really going to give us power from our core to swing that ball forward. Give me 5 more, Gabby. Elbow back.
Ball. 1.
Good. Really draw that elbow back.
Ball. 2.
Good.
Ball. 3. Ball. 4. Ball. 5.
Good. And so that's trapping of the ball. That's really going to help with consistency in the height of your lift and consistency in the contact point. And remember, you always want to serve the ball on the beefiest and the strongest part of your hand, which is the bottom part of your hand. Those fingertips should not touch that ball when you are serving. It should be the palm, beefy part of the palm on the bottom back part of the ball, and that elbow should be all the way back, and we should strike all the way forward on that swing. Okay, so that's a little bit something you can do. Okay, so really quickly, there's one thing that I really want us to focus on, and that's going to be a step and transfer of the body. So right now, I'm gonna stagger Gabby and myself. We're gonna both face this direction, and she's left-handed and I'm right-handed, so you're gonna get to see a little bit of both. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate first. I am going to lift the ball, and I'm going to transfer my weight onto my non-dominant foot. Now, since I'm right-handed, my non-dominant foot for me is my left foot. So I'm gonna lift and transfer. So I'm gonna lift and transfer the weight, and I'm gonna let that ball drop right back to where I start. My right hand or my dominant hand is going to stay up the entire time. Lift, drop, and reset. And when I reset, all my weight goes back on my right hip as a right-hander. Let's see what Gabby looks like on her. She's gonna lift, drop, and restart. Keep that left hand up the entire time. Good. Keep that left hand up the entire time. Good. Go ahead and pick the ball up with your right hand. Good, and I want you to go ahead and turn that hand, Gabby, so instead of letting that ball hit and fall, I want you to turn that thumb and catch it in a tripod every single time. Catch it, make sure it sits in that hand. It should balance in that hand like a snow cone. Better, hold it longer. I want it to freeze in your hand. Better, good. That's how you know you have a great lift of the ball, and you want to make sure that it stays in front of your dominant hand every single time. We want to lift and drop. We want to lift and drop. We want to lift and drop. You'll notice that my weight goes from back to front. Now we're going to get a little bit trickier with it and keep our elbow high. Now this is where our younger kids really need to emphasize snapping and following through with their core on the ball. So that elbow is back, that hand is high, and we want to do the exact same thing while keeping that elbow high. We're going to see a lot of young kids do this. When you lead with the elbow, the serve will never ever have the torque that it needs to go over the net. You'll never be able to use and engage your core. So we want to make sure that elbow's high and we come through nice and quick before that ball drops beyond our lift height. That was a little high on my part. So I'm going to lift and drop. Elbow back on a couple, lift and drop, elbow back on a couple, lift and drop. So we want to make sure that when we catch that ball, the weight and the ball is all in front. Okay, so this is the final drill that you can do at home for your serving, and it's just basic serving to the wall. Now keep in mind that you have to ask permission from your parents. I'm going to keep reiterating that, to put a piece of maybe painter's tape up on the wall. The regulation height for 18 and unders is 7'4" and 1/8 for the height of your painter's tape or the height of a net. For 12 and unders, you're going to have your net or your piece of tape up at 7 foot high. And then you want to work on serving obviously above the piece of tape. So Gabby here, we have a couple of boxes on the wall here. Gabby's going to work towards serving the ball above the top of the bottom of the box, in between the top of the box. So let's see if she can work on that. She's going to do 5. She's going to step and freeze her arm, and she's going to freeze her hand and step onto her non-dominating foot and freeze her arm until that ball comes back to her.
Ball.
Good. That toss on Gabby was just a little low. Okay, that's getting better. Good. Freeze that hand a little bit longer. Good. Good. Nice job. As she got towards the end of her set, it got better and better. So we're going to let her do 5 more. Now at home, I would say you should do anywhere from 40 to 50 contacts every single day. Okay, let's do 5 more, Gabby.
Ball.
Good, perfect.
Ball.
Good, make sure that lift. You'll notice that her lift is no higher than her fingertips. Good. And so that's going to be something that you can do. Remember, if you really want to get good at it, you want to put that piece of tape on the wall, the height of a regulation net. For 18 and unders, obviously, it's 7'4" and 1/8. For 12 and unders, it's 7 foot even. And then, if you really want to get specific, go ahead and have your mom or dad mark off 30 feet back. So this is about, not 30 feet quite. So we're going to move Gabby back just a hair, right there, Gabby. And we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. So it's 30 feet from the end line all the way over. 12 and unders, you can have your parents mark from 20 foot back, and that's where Gabby was standing initially. Okay, Gabby? Perfect. Good, one more. Perfect. And again, you want to work on this if you can consistently serve that ball with force and discipline, freezing that hand and having that weight transferred forward. If you can consistently do that 40 to 50 times, you're going to be a pretty good server. Remember, you want to be a good server most of the time instead of a great server rarely. Okay? A great server is good, but we want to be good most of the time.